Today, we're going to cover a really essential tool that you will probably run into if you get serious about writing with AI. This isn't necessarily a review video, but just kind of an overview, just so you can know how to work with this tool and how to make it work with you in the different tools in which it integrates, because you are almost certainly going to run into this tool at some point in the process. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about OpenRouter. Now, OpenRouter has been around for a little while. Everything in the AI world is relatively new, but it's been around. And as you can see here, this is the page you will see when you get to the site. And the reason why this tool is so essential is because a lot of other tools integrate with it. And very often you need to have an account in order to use certain large language models in those tools. Now, you may have heard my analogy before that very often if we have these things called wrapper tools, which are things that take large language models and integrate them into a specific workflow or format that is more suited to a specific task like writing or coding. And the analogy I use for that is that the wrapper tools are like a kitchen appliance, and the large language model is the electricity that powers the kitchen appliance. Well, a tool like OpenRouter or other APIs like it is something like the cord that connects the appliance to the electrical outlet. For instance, if you've seen my video on ChatGPT recently, I showed off the ChatGPT API. Looks something like this. You can select the different GPT models. You can interact with your chat in various different ways that you can't do inside of ChatGPT. And OpenRouter is very similar to that. So here's the home page, and I'm just going to walk you through what this does. There's a couple of really cool features that I really like about OpenRouter, and then I'll show you how you can integrate it into some of the biggest tools that you'll find out there that I work with, at least. And so first, let's start up here at the top where it says models. Right now, as I'm recording this, OpenRouter has 453 models. And so that's a lot. One of the biggest advantages of OpenRouter is that it gives you access to most of the major models out there, including a whole lot of models that you might not come across anywhere else, particularly on any API like what you get in OpenAI or Anthropic or Gemini. And you'll see the newest ones that they've added here at the top. But if you want to just filter, you can add something like, I always like the Claude model. So if I just type in Claude, I'll see all of the different models that are Claude models here. Additionally, you have all kinds of filtering options here on the side. So you can select a series like GPT, Claude, Gemini, or others, ones that are kind of in different categories, ones that work with specific servers, ones that have different context lengths. So if you want one that's specifically a very large context length, you can set that filter here. If you want one that has different modalities like image or file handling, you can filter that here. So you can pretty much find any model that you want for any use case. I also like that if we select one of these, it actually gives us some pretty useful information about the model itself, including the context window, the max output that it can do, and then very importantly, the input price and the output price. For this particular one, it's an input price of $1.20 per million tokens of input and $2.70 per million tokens of output. And for those who don't know, a million tokens is roughly equivalent to 750,000 words. So this is in this particular case, this model is very, very fast. Now, for each of these models, you can also select right here, providers. And in this case, it looks like there aren't too many, but what this does is let's actually pick one that is a little bit more dominant and look at the providers there. And you can see there's a lot more providers here for Claude Sonnet 4. What this is there's actually different servers which are running these large language models. And let's just say for instance, if one particular server is a little bit overwhelmed and it's just, shutting down or glitching out or what have you, OpenRouter will automatically switch to a different one in order to not have those problems. So you're able to, if one server is down, you're able to seamlessly switch to another one, which a lot of other APIs don't do. So that's another advantage that OpenRouter has. And in this case, the input and output is the same for each of these, but I would double check with some of them because sometimes the input and output is different depending on the server that you're looking at. Also, latency can be a little different. Some might be a little bit slower or faster than others. So that's just something to keep in mind. Generally, if you want fast, I would go to the original company that made those models and use it from their API. I don't really have a problem using models through OpenRouter, but if you're having some issues, you might want to go directly to the model provider themselves. But sometimes that isn't an option, particularly for lesser known models in which OpenRouter kind of acts as a catch-all for pretty much anything that you would need. So that's an overview of the models area. The chat area here is pretty much a standard chat bot. I go to New Room here. I have Claude Sonnet 4 set as my default, so it'll automatically pull Claude Sonnet 4 in, but I can easily go over here to add model and then just pick whatever model it is that I want. And one of the nice things about having multiple models is you can actually test them against each other. So if I wanted to test 2.5 Flash, I could come here and write a prompt and it would the answer to the prompt in both models. So that's a really useful tool to test different models. I've used OpenRouter quite a bit for testing. Now it will remember the chats that you've had, but only within your specific browser. So it's all based on the front end. So it will not remember it in its own cloud. At least there might be a way to do it, but I have that turned off. So keep in mind that it's not necessarily going to be a permanently kept here. And that's something you might want to keep in mind if you want to have your data stored in the cloud somewhere. Usually I don't use OpenRouter for that kind of thing, so I don't worry about it. Now, if we go to the next tab here, rankings, I don't use this very much. This is just showing you, this graph is showing you which models are used the most. And number one is Claude Sonnet 4, followed by Gemini 2.0 Flash and 2.5 Flash, and so on. And you can also see, what the market share is, the different categories. If you want to this is for programming, they have different categories. They don't have one for creative writing, funny enough, but they do have one for academia, for a bunch of others, marketing and SEO, role play. So you can see which ones are ranking best for marketing and SEO, for example. Looks like Gemini 2.5 Flash is highly rated there. So that's just something to take a look at. I personally don't put much faith in a lot of these rankings because I've seen them be egregiously wrong in the past, saying that something is good for creative writing when it clearly isn't, for example. And this one doesn't do creative writing, but I've seen others that do. And so for that reason, I kind of just don't put much faith in them, but you can check that out if you want. This one here, docs, just takes you to the documentation, so we'll skip over that. And then first, you might be wondering, how do we pay for this? How does the payment process work? So to look at that, we can go to credits, and you can see I have $15.54 currently here, and I have this set to auto top off. So if it gets below $4, it adds an additional 20. Sometimes I use it pretty heavily, sometimes I don't. You can see the last 2 months I was using it pretty heavily here because I was running a bunch of automations and testing a bunch of automations. So I was running things over and over and over and over again, and that added up. But usually I don't spend a whole lot in OpenRouter, but if you want to buy more credits, you can. And once you've bought credits here, unless you enable auto top off, it will not go past that. So you will only use up money when you are using an LLM, and a lot of the LLMs are very cheap. And if you run out, again, unless you have auto top off enabled, it'll just stop working for you. So you can have peace of mind that it'll never spend more than you put in there. Which is handy. And if you want to know where your money's going, you can come here to activity and actually look at all of the different prompts and how much it cost you. So for instance, the last couple of prompts I did were in Gemini 2.5 Pro, and you can see the cost was about 1 cent for a lot of these prompts. So pretty affordable for the most part. You can also see the speed and all of, different things there. So before we look at keys here, let's look at the settings. The settings, you can, do a couple of things that aren't really that important. You can set your default model here, but one thing to keep in mind over here on the side, if you select privacy, you can select whether or not the models are allowed to train on your input. Some companies like Google will sometimes give their models away through OpenRouter for free because they're testing those models. And as a result, because they're testing them, the cost is not a monetary cost. The cost is they require you to let them see your data so that they can help to train the model. So if you don't want to do that, you can turn it off here. Just keep in mind that if you do that, you probably won't be able to access a lot of those free models, particularly the ones that come from Google. Because I understand how large language models work, I have zero concerns with it seeing what I'm working on and that being used in its training data. I have absolutely no fear around that. And I don't think anybody else should either, unless you work with very sensitive data, like things like security numbers and stuff like that. In that case, of course, you would want to have everything walled off so nobody can see or train on your data. But I just wanted to point out that you do have that option to turn off the training if you want. And that goes for both paid models and for free models. All right, so let's talk about keys and how you integrate OpenRouter into other tools. So if we go to keys, you can see I've got several set up here. All you have to do here is create an API key, and we're going to do that just for kicks. So we'll say test API key. You can put a credit limit on it if you want to sort of limit how often it's used. I typically leave this blank, and you just hit create, and it'll give you this long number here. You just copy that, and now you can use that number to integrate with different tools. The one that, if you're following this channel, you probably have seen the most is NovelCrafter. So inside of NovelCrafter actually makes it easier, because down here in the bottom left corner, you click on your little icon there and go to AI connections. It'll have this section that says OpenRouter, your one-stop shop for all proprietary and not safe for work models, and it's their top recommended one. All I have to do is hit connect, and it'll redirect me to OpenRouter. I can just say authorize, and boom, we're done. So I didn't even need to copy that number that I had, but now my NovelCrafter account is connected to OpenRouter. What this does is that now if I start writing inside of NovelCrafter, it'll actually be using OpenRouter to generate the words. Your words are generated inside of OpenRouter and integrated into NovelCrafter. And NovelCrafter is a good example of one of those wrapper tools that adjusts a workflow and interface that is specifically geared for authors in a way that harnesses the LLMs in a way that makes it just easier for writers. Another one is Raptorite. So this is Raptorite, and this is a free option if you want a free wrapper tool. Over here on the left, when you first log into Raptorite, you'll see this thing that says OpenRouter API key. All you have to do is paste your key into there, and that's it. You can now write with AI, and this will once again be using OpenRouter to generate the words, but it'll do so inside of Raptorite, so you don't have to actually go to OpenRouter to run things. Another example that I don't have here but can tell you about is Make. So I've been doing a lot of Make automations. That's make.com. And Make has an integration with OpenRouter as well. So if I want to use any number of models, or if I want to use, say, a Claude model, but then have a fallback model that's a Gemini model, I can do that. You cannot do that if I was just going straight with Anthropic's API. I could use the Claude models, but I couldn't use the Gemini models as a fallback. Right? That's just one of the handy things about OpenRouter inside of Make. So I use OpenRouter in a lot of situations. I use it integrated into all of these different tools, including Make and NovelCrafter and Raptorite, but I also use it just as a testing ground for my prompts. If I'm working on some prompts and trying to get them to work for different, and seeing like which models follow my prompts better and stuff like that, I will just come to OpenRouter, go to the chat, pull up the different models that I want to test, and then run my prompts and adjust them and so forth. And I find that doing it here in OpenRouter is a fine place. It's not the only place where you can test out prompts like that, but it works for me, and I find that I use it quite a bit. Now, if you want to know more about all of these tools and have a step-by-step walkthrough of how to write with AI, as well as get individualized coaching from me and other instructors, I would invite you to check out my membership down below. There's two of them. There's the silver membership, which is a one-time fee of $7 if you just want to get your feet wet and see, is this right for me? But if you want to go all in and get better access to me, I go live twice inside of the group, and that is the gold group, where you can get much more personalized advice from me. And we also have an AI art expert and a developmental editor. And we have accountability calls as well. So if you want all of that and are willing to take the plunge and start writing your books and building your business, I would invite you to check that out down below. And I will see you there.